Hello, I hope you guys are all doing well today. Welcome to another YouTube video. Today I am going to be talking about, or answering the question rather, does opening up my intuition also open me up to experiencing icky energies? This is a great question. This is something that I've been asked more than once, and I know that it's not an uncommon experience that as people start to dive into opening and expanding their intuition, that they run into experiences that can trigger some fear and questions like this arise. So I'm really looking forward to sharing with you guys my perspective and some tools that will help you clear around these experiences. So to begin, the answer: does opening up my intuition also open me up to experiencing icky energies? In my view, this is a two-part answer. No, and it can. And let me explain in more detail why. So, no, in the sense that opening up our intuition, I liken it to turning on a light switch in a dark room. And it's a room we've been sitting in the entire time. But when suddenly the light flicks on, we notice that there might be like a crusty pile of laundry in the corner. There might be cobwebs on the ceiling. Maybe some of the furniture is covered in a layer of dust. And this has always been there, but we never noticed it when the lights were dim. So flipping on the light of our intuition, it opens our ability to perceive the energies in and around us. And the energies around us, of course, are just a reflection of the energies in us. What's currently going on, what's coming to the surface, what's asking to be witnessed, seen, healed, integrated. So in that way, if you're opening up your intuition, isn't suddenly opening you up to an onslaught. It's not making you a homing beacon for all of these things to come flying at you. It's actually just allowing you to have a more illuminated perspective of what already exists. And this is an opportunity for you to clear and for you to better align with your own personal sovereignty. So this is these experiences are actually an opportunity. Nothing is punishing you. That's not the dynamic going on. Okay, and then the other side of the coin, the reason why it can is because for many of us, our intuition feels or can feel, unsafe. For some people, even profoundly unsafe due to social, cultural, religious conditioning, past life experiences, our familial dynamics, how we were raised, what we were taught. And so in that way, as our intuition begins to open, or as we start to dip our toe in that water, if before going in, there is already being held in our energetic system fear or issues around safety about our intuition, and our intuition in and of itself feels unsafe, even on a subconscious level, as we start to tap into that and fear comes up, and if that fear is held in our energetic system for a long enough period of time, if it's not cleared, if we don't know how to move it, then we can be a match, we can be resonant to other experiences then coming into our awareness, coming into our experience that confirm, reiterate that fear. So it sort of can become cyclical in that way. So it's really important to be aware of that. I think going into exploring your intuition, before going in, do you already have some fear, or are there already some safety things that you feel before your intuition even really starts being explored? And if so, it's going to be especially important for you to be aware and to clear fear as it arises. Okay, so I also really want to address here at the start of this video how I perceive icky, negative, dark, evil, demonic, however you want to label it, energies. And this is based on my experience, what I've been taught, and what my guides have shown me. I know that there are people out there with other interpretations, and that's awesome. Go with what resonates with you. But what I've personally been shown and been taught is that what we label as evil or dark or demonic energy, whether that's physical energy. There are obviously people that our society or even individuals have labeled in this way based on their actions or things that they say, etc. Or whether we're talking about non-physical entities or energies. Regardless, when we are calling something evil, what we really are tapping into is that these are energies that have believed the greatest lie ever told, which is separation, and specifically separation from the light. We are all light. We are all light beings. We all come from light, and we are not separate. We are all one, as cliche as that may sound. We are all expressions of source energy. We are all God, source, incarnate. We are fractals of the same energetic whole. Anything that we perceive as happening outside of ourselves is really just another version of us reflecting back something that is looking to be witnessed or healed in ourselves. So I think it's really important to demystify that when we're talking about, dark or icky or dense energies. What we're really talking about is energies that in their reality, they feel completely separate from the light. And as such, they can't energetically sustain themselves, and they need to look for sustenance, for energy from other outside sources, because in their reality, they have believed, and what you believe you experience, that they are completely separate from light. So I think that's important to know. So obviously we live in a reality where we have free will and we have personal sovereignty. So we might ask ourselves, obviously none of us would probably willingly choose to have experiences that felt dark or icky or scary or that triggered fear. So why is this coming up? We can have these experiences come into our field only if, when, and where only if, when, and where we are wounded. The places that are our blind spots, the places where we have created separation in ourselves, the places where there are rips or tears in our energetic field because of aspects of ourselves that we have cast aside, disavowed, buried, chipped off, and pushed out of our conscious experience. And this can be aspects of ourselves that we don't see as particularly savory, and so we want to, push them aside and pretend that that's not part of who we are. And the reality is that we all have the entire spectrum of light and darkness that exists within us, and it's our choice about the rules that we're going to buy into, and it's our choice about our actions and our thoughts and how we're going to show love to ourselves that are going to ultimately dictate our experience. So that's really important to notice. If these experiences are coming into your awareness, are coming into, your day-to-day life, they're not showing up to punish you or, because there's some big conspiracy going on or, something like that. These experiences are showing up to be a reflection to you, because they're an energetic match to you, because they are putting a magnifying glass on the places where you have blind spots or where there's been wounding, that are asking for compassionate witnessing and love and healing, integration. So in that way, you are absolutely incredibly empowered. And I think that once you can shift your perspective from a victim to these things are coming at me and happening to me, to an empowered creator, and that these things are showing up to help you and to show you places, aspects of self that are ready to be witnessed and be integrated, that already is a shift of energy that is enough to start to change your experiences. So I think that's also really important to be aware of. And before I jump in here to talking more about specifically what you can do, my preferred tactics for transmuting and clearing fear, I also just really quickly wanted to mention perception. That if we're someone who is looking through a lens of fear or of victimhood at the energies around us, that it's almost like we're imposing a mask onto them. And there's a call here to just be aware that as fear is cleared and as energy of victimhood is cleared, that some of the things that you're perceiving might change. I've had some personal experiences with this. I've talked to other people who've had some personal experiences with this, where a specific energy was triggering a lot of fear and felt a certain way. And once there was healing and integration, that energy actually seemed totally different. As just a quick example, we can look at like a lot of religious texts where there's been experiences where people have had encounters with light beings or angelic beings, and initially a lot of fear was triggered and they did not see them as benevolent. And then through speaking with these beings in more detail, their perception was shifted. So I'm not saying that, dark energies don't exist. Obviously use discernment, but I'm just simply putting that out there to be aware that as you yourself clear, things might look different. So just notice and see if that comes up for you. All right, so now I want to talk about some specific strategies about how to actually clear and transmute the fear, and to be able to understand where some of the wounding or some of the blind spots are that exist that are making us, a match to these sorts of experiences. The most common strategy that I see brought up is in the spiritual and woo field in regards to, entities or those kinds of experiences are protection strategies. And this is not my number one choice, because when we feel that there's something that we need to be protected against, and that's the energy that we are embodying as we're approaching these sorts of experiences, we are likely to attract more experiences that we need to protect ourselves, that we feel we need to protect ourselves from. It's wherever you create your energetic set point, that's the baseline for the experiences that are going to come in. So, if you derive empowerment around protection, that is a step up from energetically, that's a step up from victimization. So if that's what appeals to you, or in the moment, if that's what you feel that you need to do, then absolutely that's going to be of benefit to you. But what really is going to be of benefit is raising the energetic vibration even higher to surrender and to clear. So backing up a bit, my preferred protection strategy is what the visualization that I would recommend, because I feel that it's very mild and it's also gentle, and it's love based, is you use the energy of love, which is the energy of oneness and of inclusion, and put your hands over your heart chakra, take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and allow yourself to think of a person, a pet, a loved one, something that incites unconditional love in you. And allow yourself to grab onto the thread of that feeling. Maybe sometimes if you're in fear, it's just a thread. Other times you can really let that feeling come in and overwhelm you. But as soon as you have that feeling, picture the energy coming from your heart chakra and wrapping all the way around your body, head to toe, over, under, and around. and just encasing you in a beautiful field of love. And in that way, anything that's not a match to love is not able to penetrate that energy. So that is a great short-term strategy if that's what feels best to you in the moment. Taking it a step further, what I really recommend as the most powerful transmuter of fear, what I was guided to do and what was very, very potent for me, is this clearing practice. First, it requires you to let go of the need to get rid of the fear. Having the need or the desire to get out of fear, it's the energy of pushing against something. And the energy of pushing against something just inspires whatever you're pushing against to push back just as hard, if not harder. You can actually try that. If you sit with someone and ask them to put up a fist and push and just see what happens. Their automatic reaction is going to be to push back. This is how energy works. So by pushing against fear, you're actually kind of putting yourself in a cycle to continue to experience it. So what I recommend is go somewhere quiet where you can sit down. You can take a pen and paper and journal, certainly, if you'd like to. Outside is a great place where you've got some fresh air. And let yourself take several deep breaths. Put your hand over your heart chakra and surrender and let go to fear as a teacher. It's almost like getting on a roller coaster and just getting on that drop and just letting it come in and flood in and feeling it. Giving yourself permission to feel it and not make it wrong. And as you surrender to the fear as a teacher, ask the various aspects of you that are existing internally, aspects that may have been buried, discarded, fractured, but are still there, ready to be integrated, because this wouldn't be showing up if it wasn't ready for you to do something with it. Ask them, tell them that I'm here to listen to what you have to say, to witness without judgment, to anything you have to tell me, to any unmet needs. I'm here to show you love. And just get quiet and see what comes up. If nothing comes up, just continue to breathe and keep your hands over your heart chakra and tell yourself and all the aspects of you that are feeling fear, I love you. And just let that fear, the feeling of fear, run through the funnel of your heart space. And just keep breathing it, keep giving yourself love, and listen. See what comes up. You might be really surprised. You can also, if you need some further prompts, you can ask yourself, when's the first time that I felt this way? When have I felt this way before? And there's almost always, you're going to find an initial wounding or some other woundings that actually are looking to be witnessed and healed and that might need something from you. I remember one time when I was integrating a discarded part of myself, and I asked her what she needed, and she said she needed the sun. And so I would just sit there with my hand over my heart and imagine big bright sunlight just shining down on her and just giving her the sun. It doesn't have to make sense, but listen to what comes up for you. Be open to what comes up for you and be open to letting go of and surrendering to fear as a teacher. This is how you heal. This is how you integrate. And this is how we shine a light on our blind spots so that we're not open to having these types of experiences, or so that we're less open to having these types of experiences, or so that when these experiences do come up, we can use them for our benefit and not become paralyzed by them or shut ourselves down. So I hope that that makes sense. I really extrasensory experiences that come up that trigger safety, security, fear, these are simply coming up to allow you to heal, to allow you to transmute, and to allow you to do a lot of understanding and witnessing around victim and perpetrator archetypes. So I hope that you can now see these experiences as an opportunity, that they feel a little less emotionally charged, and that you can understand what's actually going on at a deeper level. The most important thing is that you feel empowered And there's so much power in witnessing, and there's so much power in love, and there's so much power in recognizing that nothing that you're experiencing outside of you is actually happening outside of you. It's all a reflection of what's happening inside. So this is only an opportunity for you to step more into your power. So lastly, I actually wanted to share with you guys, this is a channeled poem that came through probably like, I don't know, a year or so ago, but I found it when I was writing out my notes for this, and I wanted to share it with you. It's what my guides shared with me when I was going through some of these experiences. The monsters, the devils, the demons are but a reflection in a mirror reality. They are inside, my love. They are disguised as your worst fears, so you will not look, because when you truly see, you love. And the light of your being transmutes all monsters to angels. May you adventure in power and peace. Much love. Till next time.